Good morning, my dear students. Today we are discussing about nutrition and BMR. What is the importance of the nutrition? What is the BMR, and how to determine the BMR? And extra topics are today we are discussing. So first of all, introduction to the nutrition. So what is the nutrition? Simple word, nutrition is it is a supplement to our body. Means it gives the energy to our body for the surviving purpose and maintain the physical and chemical stability with the using of the nutrition. So that is we know that. But actually, what is the nutrition? Nutrition is the science of the nourishing of the body, means simply maintenance of the body. And the second one, it is actual definition, utilization of food by living organism. So one food material means energetic material. That energetic material utilized by the living organism. So that living organism for the purpose of which purpose utilize the nutrition for their surviving purpose. So food is the fuel source of the body, means fuel source means continuously the food source is absorbed the living organism for their surviving purpose, means continuously absorb the energy levels from the nutritions. So the ingested food undergoes to metabolism to liberate energy. So here this food material entering in our body, then it is eliminated or liberated as a energetic compounds. That energetic compounds is required for their growth. So in childhood, continuously growth up to 20 years. So our body size increases up to 6 feet, 7 feet. So continuously increases up to 20 years. So the 20 years of energy, how to produces the energy from the nutrition. What is the importance for their growth purpose? And the next one, metabolism purpose, and the next one, maintenance the physical stability and chemical stability purpose. We are using this particular type of energy, means nutrition. So these maintenance of the tissue of body and regulation their body process, means metabolic rates and respiration system, cardiovascular system, urinary tract, central nervous system, autonomous nervous system. These are all are run with the fuel. What is the fuel? Fuel is the nutrition. So that is the introduction about and importance of the nutrition. So the nutrition is classified into it classification into total 6 classes, depends upon the chemical nature and the nutrients, depends upon the nutrients and chemical nature. These particular nutritions are classified into 6 types. What are their? Carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, minerals, vitamins, and water. So in here we know that about the carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, minerals, vitamins, and water. What is the importance? And then what is the normal values, what is the abnormal values, and how to produces their energy. And in this carbohydrate, lipids, proteins, which type of reactions are involved in there for their purpose only liberate of the energy. We know that here the based on the biological role, especially based on the biological role, nutrients are classified into energy providing nutrients and protective nutrients. So depends upon the energy providing the six classes of the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, these are all are classified into 2 types. First one is the energy providing nutrients, and second one is the protective nutrients. What is the energy providing nutrients? Carbohydrates and lipids continuously provide the energy to our body, and protective nutrients is the proteins, minerals, vitamins, water. These are all are the involved in the protection of the protection to our body. So based on the daily requirements, so first one is the based on the energy. Based on the energy providing, it's divided into 2 types: energy providing, energy and protective nutrients. And based on the chemical nature and nutrients, it classified into 6 types. And third one classification is based on the daily requirements, it classified into 2 types. One is the macro, and second one is the macronutrients and micronutrients. So depends upon the utilization of the nutrients in a day. So per a day, how much of nutrients are where utilization depends upon there. It is divided into 2 types. One is a macro, another one is a micro. The next one, caloric value of foods. What is the calories? What is the first of all? What is the calorie? Calorie is also known as a kilocalorie. calorie is also known as a kilocalorie. The calorie and kilocalorie, these two are the physiologically determination. It determine the physiologically determination. What is the definition of the calorie? Simply, it is what is the literal definition? The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by the 1 degree centigrade. So simple one, at the 1 degree centigrade, for example, water is placed at the 1 degree centigrade. How much of water? 1 liter of water or 1 kilogram of water. 1 kg of water is placed at the 1 degree Celsius. So the next one, the 1 degree Celsius converts to 2 degree Celsius. 1 degree Celsius converts to 2 degree Celsius. So same amount of water, how much of energy is required? Simply 1 degree is changes, degree of 1 degree of 1 degree is converts to 2 degrees of water. How much of temperature, how much of energy utilization, that is called as the calorie. Simple one, 1 kg of water, it's at the 1 degree Celsius converts to 2 degrees Celsius. In that, how much of energy required, that is called as the calorie. So the caloric value, it's a determination by with the using of the one apparatus that is called as a BAM calorimeter operator. The BAM calorimetry operator, it is a metal vessel which is the weight the food and atmosphere, oxygen under pressure, the electric. Simply, it is depends upon the food and it depends on the atmosphere, depends upon the oxygen and at the pressure also. These type of 4 factors are involved in there. So this one is a measure the volume of water surround the vessel and how much of temperature needed and how much of energy is needed. That one is determined with the using of the BAM calorimeter. So when the temperature is multiplied by the volume of water surrounding the vessel. So in a vessel place the 1 kg of water. In a vessel place the 1 kg of water. So at that moment it maintain the particular temperature and as well as the atmosphere and food material, oxygen, these are all are provided as per procedure and increases the temperature and total number of calories liberated from the combustion of the food obtained. So at the finally how much of energy liberated at the increase is the 1 degree Celsius. This is the BAM calorimetry apparatus. In here one thermometer is there and the next one it is the motorized stirrers and electrical leads for the igniting sample and sample igniting purpose and thermometers. These the 4 are the involved in there. So here electrical leads is the one plus charge and one minus charge. So plus charge depends upon the plus and minus charges. So we are determination of the how much of energy is liberated determined. And the next one motor stirrer means continuously mix the water and thermometer. Thermometers depends upon the with the using of the thermometer increases their temperature or not. How much of temperature increases means how many degrees Celsius is increases. So that's one is determined. So here in this container oxygen inlet is there and bomb is inlet and the next one fine wire and contact with the sample and cup holding sample and water is placed. How much of water? 1 kg of water is placed and how many temperature increases 1 degree Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius and it liberate the how much of energy is liberated with the determination with the using of BAM calorimeter apparatus. So the here with the using of BAM calorimeter apparatus determination of the some energy levels are liberated. So 1 gram of carbohydrate yields the exact values. This is the exact values. In here in our subject we are already discussed about the carbohydrate. 1 carbohydrate is equal 4.0 calories, but exactly how much of energy is releases means 4.1 calories and 1 gram of fat is a 9.4 calories. 1 gram of protein yields 5.4 calories. These are all these are determination with the using of the BAM calorimeter. So here these are the gross caloric values and the next one these are the digestible caloric values is a food or 1 gram of carbohydrate is equal to 4.0 and the digestible calories is different and the gross values are different. So and 1 gram of protein is, fat is the 9.0 calories, 1 gram of protein is the 5.2 calories energy. And here note proteins are not completely oxidized in the body. Proteins are not completely oxidized in the body. That is the main point. So then these are the digestible caloric values and gross caloric values. And the next one end product of urea, it contains the some amount of potential energy. Some amount of potential energy, that end product of urea. End product of urea is known as urea, NH2 C double bonded NH2. We are already discussed about in urea cycle. So here 1.25 calories per grams of urea, this much of energy is presented. And this oxidizable calorific value proteins is 4.0. Oxidation of the here completely proteins are not completely oxidized in the body. In case of oxidation, how much of energy is releases means a 4.0 calories energy. And actual caloric values, what is the actual caloric values? So here digestible caloric values, and this is the gross caloric values, and the next one is the actual caloric values. Actual caloric values is a 1 gram of carbohydrates is the 4 calories, 1 gram of fat 9 calories, 1 gram of protein 4 calories, and ethanol is a 7 calories energy is presented. So these three are the different types of caloric values are presented. And the next one, RQ. RQ means respiratory and quotient. So what is the respiratory quotient? So respiratory quotient is the ratio of the CO2 produced to the volume of O2 utilization in the oxidation of foodstuffs. Simply, in our body CO2 is eliminated from our body through the respiration process. Oxygen is utilized in our body through the respiration process. These two are the involved in the respiration process. Means CO2 is elimination. How much of CO2 elimination? And CO2 elimination means production of the CO2. The CO2 is production depends upon the O2 molecules. Depends upon the O2 molecules. How many O2 molecules are involved in the synthesis of the CO2? This is known as the respiratory quotient. Simple definition. So volume of CO2 produced depends upon the volume of O2 used. So how many O2 molecules are involved in the synthesis of CO2? The is known as the respiratory quotient. Simply the ratio between the CO2 produced and volume of O2 used. The is known as the respiratory quotient. So how to determination of this RQ value? How to determination? With the using of the open circuit method. Open circuit method. The open circuit method, it is the subjects breathes in the atmospheric air of the noun composition. So simply atmospheric air is noun composition, and the expired the all air collected in rubber bag or spirometer. With the this one is a determination with the spirometer or rubber bag. The volume of expired air, the O2 content and CO2 content are measured. So these particular rubber bag and spirometer volume of expired air. Expired air means it containing the oxygen molecule and as well as the CO2 molecules also. These two are the measured with the using of the spirometer or rubber bag. So RQ is calculated with the using of one formula is there. So what is that formula? Simply carbohydrates. The carbohydrates are completely oxidized. In case of carbohydrates are completely oxidized, RQ of the carbohydrate is 1. Fats is what is the fats? So they are the low oxygen content. So fat required the O2 for oxidation. So comparison the carbohydrates, fats are lower oxidative values or lower RQ values. So one fat is called 0.7, and the next one proteins 0.8, and the next one mixed diet. So mixed diet means carbohydrates, proteins, fats. These are all are presented in our body. It going to oxidation. So what is the RQ value? 0.8. But individually the protein 0.8 and the next one fats is 0.7, carbohydrates is 1. It individually, but it's mixed diet. We are using the mixed diet in our daily food. So we are use the proteins, carbohydrates, minerals, waters, and fat substances, and etc etc. So this is the mixed diet. Mixed diet RQ value is the 0.8. So utilization of energy. So utilization of energy means these how to utilize the energy. So first of all, what is the nutrition, and the next one classification and calories, and the next one RQ values, and after oxidation how to utilization of the food in our body. So it the determine it's utilization of food depends upon these three processes. What are they? One is the BMR, SDA, and physical activity. So what is the BMR? Basal metabolic rate, and SDA means specific dynamic action and physical stability. With these three processes are involved in their utilization of energy. So food material converts to energy. The energy is how to utilization with the using of these three processes. So what is the BMR? So BMR is also known as a RMR. RMR means resting metabolic rate. So BMR is the minimum amount of energy required by the body to maintain life at complete physical and mental rest in the post absorptive state. So simply after dinner or after lunch, after breakfast. So after breakfast, minimum amount of energy. So minimum, what is the not maximum amount? Minimum amount of energy. So required the maintain the stability. So for example, morning breakfast time is the 8 o'clock, and the next one lunch time is the 1 o'clock. So 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So it maintain the a good stability and physically good and mentally good. Physically good and mentally good. How to maintain? So after a breakfast, after dinner, after lunch, completely it provided the energy to our body. So minimum amount of energy, that energy is known as the basal metabolic rate. So minimum amount of energy required by the body and to maintain life at complete physical and mental rest in the post absorptive state. So means after 12 hours, so last meal 12 hours, after completion of the meals 12 hours, it maintain the particular state of the body, means physically, chemically, and mentally stability is maintained. That is called as the BMR. So it may be noted as the RMR. RMR means resting metabolic rate also. So so several functions of within the body continuously occur. What are they? Means after lunch or after dinner, after breakfast, different types of processor occur in our body. What are there? One is a working of heat and other organisms like respiration, blood circulation, conduction of nerve impulse, means central nervous system, reabsorption, and key function of kidney, means renal tubules, gastrointestinal, means digestive system, transportation of the sodium and potassium ions, and synthesis of the micromolecules. So different types of reactions are occur in our body. So these are all are occur depends upon the minimum amount of energy. That minimum amount of energy is needed. That is called as a BMR. So how to determination of the how to measurement of the BMR with the using of the different techniques are there. What are there? So one is the prerequisiting conditions. What are there? One is a post absorptive state. Post absorptive state means after lunch, after dinner, after breakfast. So 12 hours for 1 hour first one first first minute to 12 hours. So after 12 hours also it maintain the a physical and good physical and stability. Stability, maintain the good physical stability and mental stability, and resting stability is also maintained. That is called as the post absorptive state. Simply after lunch, after meals, after breakfast, 12 hours time is known as a post absorptive state. And the next one, mental and physical relaxation condition, and person is working and temperature required maintain the 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. So here the 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, so it is a good temperature for their maintenance of the good stability. In case of increases the temperature, decreases the temperature, loss of the electrolytes and etc. And the next one, supine position. Supine position means relaxation position, sleeping position. So supine position also measurement the BMR. So how to measurement? With the using of the one operator that is called as a Benedict and Roth operators. So the Benedict and Roth operators and or with the using of the Douglas bag method. So open circuit method and closed circuit methods. These two are the measurement of the BMR. So by Benedict Roth method is a volume of O2 consumed by the subject of period 2 to 6 minutes under the basal condition determination. So means how much of oxygen molecules utilized at the 2 to 6 minutes of time under basal condition. So basal condition means supine position under these conditions. So at the 2 to 6 minutes of time how much of O2 molecules is determined and recorded on a graph paper. And calculation of energy consumption, the energy consumption calculated from the oxygen consumption only depends upon the oxygen consumption. So oxygen consumption is per hour, how much of oxygen consumption per hour is multiplied by the constant value is 4.825 calories, 4.825 calories into hours. So 1 liter of oxygen consumed is equivalent to 4.825 calories. So what is the constant value? 4.825. It came from RQ value. RQ value diet is a 0.82. So 0.82 is RQ value, and then 1 liter of oxygen consumed is equivalent to how many calories? 4.825 calories. So that one is the multiply with the hours. So how many hours? 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, depends upon hours. So the next one, for the calculation of the body surface, also body surface, but the formula is Du Bois, and Du Bois used. So Du Bois formula. So body surface area is equal to H into W into 71.84. So H power of 0.725. These are the constant values. So what is that? AWH. AWH means, A means surface area. A means surface area in centimeter square. So surface area is equal to H into W into 71.84. And the next one, H means height in centimeter. What is the body height? And the next one, what is the body weight also? These values are substituted in their formula, and finally we get the particular energy consumption values. So here height, for example, here H means height. Height is 5 feet. So 5 into the power of 0.725 into weight is 60 kgs. 60 power of 0.25 into 71.84. Finally we get the some value. That value is a determination of the measurement of the BMR. And this is the spirometer. This look like a spirometer. With the using of the spirometer, finally we concluded the BMR. And this is a Benedict and Roth instruments. With the using of this one instrument also, we have determination of the BMR. So what BMR is expressed in the calories per square per meter per hour. So it's expressed as a calories or square per meter or hours all. So what is the adults? Adult males is 38 calories per square per meter per hour, and adults for female is 33 calories square per meter per hour. The average body surface area of Indian males is 1.62 square per meters. 1.62 square meters. For females is a 1.4 square meter. These values are substituted in their above formula, and finally we get the BMR normal values. So factors affecting on the BMR, which type of factors? Body surface area. BMR is directly proportional to surface area, means surface area increases, BMR increases. And sex, so men have especially men have higher BMR value compared than the women. So why? Because of surface area increases in the men, decreases in the women. And age factors also in infants and growing children, when lean muscle mass and BMR is high in the children's. And the next one, physical activities and hormones and environmental starvation. Starvation means fat substances occur in our body, and fever, and disease status, any disease status. These are all are the affecting on the effective fact. These factors are affecting on the BMR. And the next one is the significance of BMR. What is the importance of the BMR? BMR is, it is important to calculate the calories requirement of the individual and planning of the diets also. So it is important calculation of the calories requirement of the individual and planning and diets. So different diets and different plannings depends upon the BMR. So determination of the BMR is useful for the assessment of the thyroid disorders. Which purpose we are studied? Especially diet purpose. So diabetic patients, which type of diet we use? Thyroid patients, which type of diet? And then dialysis patients, which type of diet? And pregnant women, which type of diet? Depends upon the disease status. It's a diet. Our diet plan is divided into different portions. So the different portions is decided by the only BMR. So BMR is increased in the thyrotoxiosis means hyperthyroidism. BMR is decreased in the hypothyroidism. So the BMR, basal metabolic rate, is increases, decreases, depends upon the disease status also. And specific dynamic action, and then this is about the up to year BMR and specific dynamic action. Specific dynamic action means it is a extra heat production by the body over and above the calculation of the caloric value when a given food is metabolized by the body is known as a specific dynamic action. Simply, specific dynamic BMR means how much of energy is releases, minimum amount of energy. So up to maximum no problem, above maximum extra amount of heat production and extra amount of caloric values are production. What is the calories values of carbohydrates? 4. In case of from 4 carbohydrates, it's the normal to our body is the carbohydrate values, for example 100. In case of it produces the 110 120, so that 110 120 values are the extra values. So the extra heat production by the body and over and above the calculated caloric value when given food is metabolized by the body. So with the using of higher caloric energy, the food material going to digestion is known as a specific dynamic action. So it is also known as a caloric action or the thermogenic action or the thermic action of food. So these are the specific dynamic action is also known as a caloric action, calorogenic action, thermogenic action or thermic action. So here, what is the SDA for the different foods? What is the different types of foods have the different SDAs? So here, for food containing 25 grams of protein, 25 grams of protein. So in our diet, 25 grams of proteins is presented. So the heat production from the caloric value is 100 calories, 25 into 4 calories. So 25 into 4 calories. Total how many calories produces? 100 calories are produces. When 25 grams of protein utilized by the body, 130 calories of heat is liberated. So here one protein, 25 proteins, 25 grams of protein utilized by the body with the using of 100 calories. So it liberated the how many calories? 130 calories are liberated. So extra is the 30, that is called as a SDA of the proteins. Protein SDA is 30, for example 30. So extra amount of calories is produces, that is called as SDA. And the next one, the SDA of proteins and fat and carbohydrates. So proteins is the 32%, fat is the 13%, carbohydrates is the 5%. And proteins possess the highest SDA while carbohydrates have the lowest. Proteins are the highest SDA values, and the next one is the fat substances. The next one is the lowest is the carbohydrates. So SDA for the mixed values, mixed diet is the produces how much. So BMR SDA, BMR is mixed diet is a 0.8, but here SDA mixed diet is proteins and fats, carbohydrates reduces the SDA of proteins. So fats are most efficient is reducing the SDA of the foodstuffs. For regularly consuming of the mixed diet, SDA is the around 10%, around 10%, but fats is the 13%, carbohydrates is the 5%, and proteins is the 32%, but mixed diet is only 10%. So significance of the SDA, significance of the SDA means for the utilization of foods by the body and a certain amount of energy consumed from the body stores. So here in case of the extra amount is present in our body. So what is our lunch time? For example, lunch time is 1 o'clock, breakfast time is 8 o'clock. In case of any chances to the time extended to lunch time is 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, how to survive with the using of the SDA energy? So the utilization of foods by the body, certain amount of energy is consumed from our body stores. Certain amount of energy is utilized by the body, the SDA values are substituted. And expenditure by the body, utilization of the foodstuffs, it is the highest for protein 30%, lowest for carbohydrates 5%, mixed diet is the 10%. And the next one, additional 10 calories, it should be added to the total energy needs towards the SDA. And the higher SDA of protein indicates that is the not good source of energy. That is a not good source of energy. So don't use the extra amount of energy in our place in our body. Why? Because of it leads to the different types of diseases. So depends upon the SDA values we are determining the which type of diseases occurs in the body. And the next one, mechanism of SDA. SDA of foods is due to energy required the digestion, absorption, transportation, metabolism, storage of the food in the body. And the next one, SDA proteins primarily to meet the energy requirements on the deamination, synthesis of urea, biosynthesis of protein, synthesis of the triglycerols, and etc. etc. These are all are involved in the with the SDA values. And phenylalanine, glycine, alanine increases. These are the amino acids. And SDA carbohydrates are attributed to the energy expenditure of the conversion of glucose to glycogen. So means extra amount of glucose molecules are presented in the body. It converts to glucose molecules to glycogen. The glycogen is stored in the liver. We already discussed about this topic in the carbohydrates. And fat and SDA may due to in the storage, metabolism, and oxidation of the carbohydrates, and consumption of the protein rich diet, cold climates. So in cold climates, diet rich in proteins is recommended. It helps them maintain their body temperature. So that's why, so compare them the Indians and compare the Indian and Americans. So Americans are use the extra amount of proteins. Why? Because of the temperature is different. In India, it is a normal temperature is a 37 degrees Celsius. In America is a below 30 degrees Celsius. So that's why it decreases the temperature, and the decreases the stability of the body. That's why purpose the Americans and cold countries are, especially cold countries at the lower degrees temperature areas, use the higher amount of proteins compared than the Indians. So due to the high SDA liberate the extra heat. And the next one, composition of the physical activity. The next one, physical activity. So the energy requirement depends on the occupation, physical activity, and lifestyle of the individuals. So here it is a light work. So the next one is a physical activity. So physical activity depends upon the energetic levels. So for example, here divided into four types: light workers, and mediator workers, and heavy workers, very heavy workers. So like light workers means teachers and doctors. So it use the BMR is a 30 to 40 percentage. And the next one, housewives and students, 40 to 50 percentage of BMR. And the next one, heavy workers means laborers, daily laborers, construction field workers is the 50 to 60% BMR values. Heavy workers means then next one, rickshaw pulling workers, and etc etc. So 60 to 100% BMR utilization is a depends upon the physical activity, depends upon the physical activity at the rest person and working person and jogging purpose and gym purpose. Different types of purpose we are using the different types of BMR values. So this is about the physical stability. And the energy requirement of men. In a men, what is the energy? It individual with the light workers about the 60% calories and spent towards the BMR, and about 30% is the physical activity, and about 10% to take care of the SDA. So light workers is the how many calories are utilization in per a day, means 2200 to 2500 calories. And moderate workers is the 2500 to 2900 calories. And heavy workers is the 2900 to 3500. Very heavy workers is the 3500 to 4000 calories per a day. This is the normal values. So increases the in case of increases this BMR values compared than the normal values, so it leads to the different types of diseases occurs. Increases also, it leads to the different types of diseases occurs. And the next one, environmental temperature. So environmental temperature also increases the BMR rate, and it decreases the BMR rate. Depends upon the environmental temperature. And this is about the BMR and SDA, and importance of the nutrition and respiratory quiet. So if you have any doubts from this topic, tomorrow we will discuss. Thank you.